Hi, everyone. My name is Monica Siegel, and welcome to my presentation for IBM Tech Exchange Dev Day. I am excited to talk with you all today about an amazing platform called IBM Z Xplore, which allows you to get hands-on technical skills on IBM Z and Linux One. I hope you guys have all had a great couple of sessions already that have happened today, and you've been able to watch them. If not, I know that the replays are available for you to watch at your own time, and I highly recommend you go back and watch the ones that you've missed or maybe wanted to see and didn't have the time to. There's some really great sessions out there. So with all of that being said, I will get started and talk about this wonderful platform that we have. If we could switch to the presentation, that would be great. Thank you. All right, so this is IBM Z Xplore. So during this presentation, you are going to learn as a developer how you can upskill, reskill, and potentially gain new skills on IBM Z and Linux One using this platform. So what is IBM Z Xplore? It is a 24/7 platform that is available to you. It is free, no cost for any type of learner. So whether you are 0 years into being a developer, 5 years, 10 years, 30 years, this platform is really great for you. As it's mentioned in the title, we have a lot of different skills for you to either learn fresh or refresh for yourself. So what this platform offers is bite-sized learning for IBM Z and Linux One. So what this means is essentially these are curated challenges that focus on different skills around IBM Z, and I'll go through a few of them during this presentation, as well as go through a demo of what this all looks like. But essentially, these challenges should take probably around no more than 2 hours for you. It depends on your technical level. But this is a great way, again, for you to get that hands-on training and just discover different skills that you might be able to use for IBM Z. These challenges are self-paced and hands-on. So we know that there are a lot of amazing courses out there that are self-paced and allow you to go through them at your own time. The amazing benefit of IBM Z Xplore is that you also get that additional hands-on learning. So you get access to a live Z machine, and you get to actually get your hands into it and understand not only like what you are doing, but go through the motions yourself, which I find really helpful being a learn by doer learner. So it's a really great aspect of our platform. Another great aspect is the digital badging. I'll go into a little more depth on this in a couple of minutes. But essentially, as you're going through these challenges, we want you to be able to demonstrate that you've actually done the work and you understand what you're learning. So we do provide 3 industry recognized badges for you that you can promote to future employers, current employers, your family, your friends. You can brag to whoever you want about it on LinkedIn that you've earned these digital badges. Going off of that, the digital badges are a great way if you are looking to either start a career or change careers, whatever it may be. We do provide different career fairs for you where the first badge that you earn on IBM Z Xplore is a prerequisite. So it's great to have these badges for bragging rights, but you can also use them towards your future, which is really great. Okay, so I've done a very, very high level what IBM Z Xplore is, so I'm going to dive into it in a little more details. So as I've mentioned earlier, this platform is a great way to get hands-on experience on a variety of skills on IBM Z. So with these skills, you can earn these digital badges and also promote this to friends so that you guys can go through the platform together and compete with one another if that's something that is of interest to you. So as I've mentioned, you get hands-on challenges. I'm going to walk through a demo of the platform in a little bit, and I'll show you what those challenges look like. Essentially, there is a general format for the challenges. We essentially provide you a very high-level introduction to the skill that you'll be learning, and then we provide you with a PDF with instructions for the challenge. So when you start at the beginner level on IBM Z Xplore, we provide a lot more detail and kind of help you understand what's happening. But then as you progress through the platform and get to more of the advanced and extended challenges that we have, we take away a lot of our hand holding for you because we want you to figure out, the certain challenges yourself. So we really progress you through. Speaking of that, all of our challenges on IBM Z Xplore are progressive. So on the right-hand side here, you can see our fundamentals and concepts, advanced and extended sections. So these are what we call channels on IBM Z Xplore. Your fundamentals and concepts channel is going to be your introduction channel. This is where we start every user because we want to make sure that you have that base foundation and that base knowledge. Once you progress through those challenges, we then take you through advanced. And then once you pass through advanced, we then open up extended for you. I'll go into details on those channels in a little bit. So as I mentioned earlier, a really great aspect of this platform is your direct access to an IBM Z environment. So we are actually providing you your own Z ID with your own password where you can sign up onto VS Code or a 3270 emulator and actually see your own data sets, see your different members, play around with the system. We do have security measures to make sure that, nothing bad or crazy is happening. And we do ask that you generally follow the challenges that we provide for you on our platform because we do find them very beneficial. But of course, after you've earned a few badges, if you want to, play around a little bit and just, see what you can do on the mainframe, that is totally fine as well. In addition to these hands-on challenges and the progressive learning paths, we also have a user community with a forum and a leaderboard. So with the forum, I'm excited to show you that feature when I do the demonstration. This is essentially like a Stack Overflow, Reddit, GitHub type of deal where users can post questions about challenges that they have either while they're completing the different challenges on IBM Z Xplore or questions that they have about the platform itself. And then other user community members can either answer those questions or, upvote it if they have a similar question. It's a really, really great feature that we have on the platform. The response time is usually very great. We have admin that are tracking the questions, but like I mentioned, it is a user community board. So we do encourage users to answer other users' questions. If you've had a similar problem and you're able to figure it out, share it with the person that's asking the question. We also have a leaderboard. The leaderboard is really just a great way to see where you are on the platform. It doesn't actually lead to anything, but users do like to see, where on the platform you are, and you earn points that get you on the leaderboard by completing the different challenges on IBM Z Xplore. Lastly, and I know that I'll be repeating this a lot, we do have that digital badge that we provide for you. So there are 3 digital badges that you can earn on the platform. They are industry recognized. And again, it's really just a great way to show your community that you have developed these skills and you understand at a base level what IBM Z is and different skills that you can earn. So moving on to the right-hand side, I talked about progressive learning paths. So these are the 3 learning channels that we provide for you. The first one is fundamentals and concepts. Like I mentioned earlier, this is a great way to make sure that you have a base foundation knowledge of how to access the mainframe in a modern way. So we do provide opportunity to access the mainframe on a 3270 terminal, but we do like to start users on the more modern way of accessing the mainframe with VS Code. So we have a challenge directed specifically on how to navigate VS Code, and then we dive into introductory coding languages. So we talk about data sets and members, we talk about JCL, we talk about Python, USS, we talk about Rex. So we have 7 hands-on challenges in the fundamentals and concepts channel that provide you that hands-on value while you're going through the challenges. And then additionally, we have our concepts challenges. These are, like the name says, more conceptual. So they are more readings and quizzes for you, but it's helpful to provide a high-level overview of the importance of IBM Z, what enterprise computing is, different aspects of IBM Z and how it's important to society. So we have 5 challenges that are labeled concepts, and I'll show you that on the platform when I give you the demonstration. But both with the fundamentals hands-on challenges and the concepts reading and quizzes challenges, you will complete then the fundamentals and concepts channel, and that's where you will earn your first badge. Once you complete those challenges, you then move on to the advanced channel. This is essentially just a step up from fundamentals and concepts. So we no longer have the concepts aspect of just reading and quizzes, but we do build off of the fundamentals challenges. So we go beyond JCL1 and move on to deeper knowledge in a JCL2 challenge. Additionally, though, we add in other skills. So we add in different challenges. We have DB2, we have Linux, we have COBOL, we have assembler, we have partition data sets. We have a lot of different challenges for you on advanced, and this will again just help you deepen your skills using VS Code. Once you go through the advanced channel, you then unlock the extended channel, and this is kind of where we open up the platform to you. We know that you have your base foundation of how to navigate VS Code and how to use IBM Z. So then we open you up to a ton of different other challenges that are available to you. So I mentioned that we provide access to a 3270 emulator. This is where you would get that access. So you can request access to do TSO and ISPF. And we have a lot of different challenges that are then on TSO and ISPF. But we have a lot of other amazing modernization challenges as well. So we have a machine learning challenge. We just published a Watson Code Assistant for Z challenge as well, and we look to expand upon that challenge. We have VM challenges. We have Ansible challenges. We have MQ. We have RACF, DSFMS, so many different challenges that cover really the broad spectrum of the mainframe, and they're really great challenges for you to get hands on. Most of these challenges will be utilizing a TSO ISPF 3270 emulator, but we do still have different challenges like the WCA for Z challenge that goes back to VS Code and focuses on the more modern tooling that a lot of developers are familiar with. The great thing about this platform is content is continuously added. So the fundamentals and concepts channel is pretty static in the sense of we just want that to be your introductory channel. So while we do provide updates to those challenges, we aren't necessarily adding in more challenges. But with advanced and extended, we are adding in different challenges. So I just mentioned that we published the WCA for Z challenge. We're looking to publish the second challenge that will go on top of that. We're looking at publishing some IMS challenges, some more DB2 challenges. So we are continuing to create different challenges, work with different SMEs, and make sure that the content that we are providing users is not only relevant, but of high quality. And then at the very beginning, I mentioned that this was bite-sized. So the idea with IBM Z Xplore is that you essentially get a taste of a lot of these skills. And then once you get familiar with the different skills and you realize, hey, I really want to learn more about IMS, we can then point you to courses that are a lot more in depth and, are 6 or 7 hours, let's just say, of diving really deep into IMS. So we like to provide you with the umbrella of skills that you can learn and then send you on your way to the different parts of courses that have those challenges as well. All right, so the fun topic of the day, digital badges. So here is a display of the digital badges for you. So as I mentioned, the fundamentals and concepts channel is directly linked to the IBM Z Xplore concepts badge. So this is this red badge on the left. You have to complete the 7 hands-on fundamentals challenges and at least 2 of the 5 concepts challenges to earn this badge. So we do recommend that you go through all 5 concepts challenges. Again, those are really just going to be your readings and quizzes, but you really do only have to complete 2 of them in order to earn the badge. Moving on to advanced, you have to complete at least 5 of the advanced challenges to earn your advanced badge. We have, I believe, 13 advanced challenges, so we are allowing you to pick the different skills that are of interest to you and complete just 5 challenges that are skills that you would think would be of interest to you. Something that I haven't mentioned, so we have the progressive channels, but also within the channels, we have progressive challenges. So this will make more sense when I show my demo, but essentially, if we have 3 JCL challenges, you have to complete JCL 1 before you move on to JCL 2, and you have to complete JCL 2 before you move on to JCL 3. So it makes a lot of sense, but that is a feature that we have. So if you are looking on our platform and you're wondering, you thought that there were 5 challenges for this skill and you're only seeing 1, that's why you have to go through them progressively depending on what the challenge is. Moving to the far right, we have our IBM Z Xplore All-Star badge. So this is kind of what the badge says. You're an all-star. This means that you have really utilized IBM Z Xplore and have completed majority of the challenges available to you. So to earn this badge, you have to complete at least 5 extended challenges. So when I was talking earlier about the extended channel, that's where you'll find those challenges. And then 15 all-star tag challenges. The all-star challenges will be found in both the advanced channel and the extended channel. So when you're going through and trying to earn your all-star badge, you might have to switch between the 2 channels in order to earn that badge, but I will show you in the demonstration where you can find the tag to make sure the challenge that you're completing is equivalent to either the advanced or the all-star or the extended. So these are the 3 badges. Again, these are really great to promote for yourself on LinkedIn or utilize for a career fair that IBM Z is hosting. We also just launched the Mainframe Career Depot where you can utilize these badges as well. But at the very minimum, again, it's great bragging rights or something to show off to your family who might have no idea what you do in your day job. All right, so I'm now going to switch over and to my demonstration and do a walkthrough of what IBM Z Xplore is, the platform, how you can navigate it best, and then I'm going to do at least 2 of the hands-on challenges for you to help you get started and potentially go into that 3rd challenge. All righty, so when you sign up or sign into IBM Z Xplore, this is the page that you will see. So I've already done the sign up for you so that you don't have to watch me type in my email. But again, I encourage you to sign up right now as I'm going through this, and that way you can walk through with me. So this is the homepage of IBM Z Xplore. At the top here is really just a banner to help you as a user figure out where you want to go. So I talked about our progressive channels. You can see them here displayed. A nice feature that we have on this platform is we try to help show you where you should begin. So as you can see here, the advanced and extended tiles are grayed out. And that's because as a new user to this platform, I haven't unlocked those. So that's that progressive feature that we were talking about. And this shows me that, hey, I need to click on my fundamentals and concepts channel here and begin working on that before I can unlock advanced and then therefore extended. On the left here are the points. So I mentioned our leaderboard. So as you go through different challenges, that's when you start to earn points. Our very first challenge is our onboarding challenge when you sign up. So that's why I already have 26 points. And then scrolling down here on the right, this is where you can see the leaderboard. So you can filter it a little bit to what you want to see. If you want to see where you are placed when you first start, obviously you won't have as many points as a lot of users. So here I am pretty much towards the bottom, but that's okay. I'll work my way up. Or you can look at the top 10 to, either ask users different questions if you want to look at the forum or, kind of just see where people are at on the challenge. Scrolling back up to the top here, I want to show one other feature, and this is our ZOS password resets. Every 60 days, your ZID password is going to reset. So I mentioned you get direct access to a Z machine, which is really amazing. But for security purposes, we do expire your password every 60 days. So when you are going through VS Code, or if you are on a 3270 emulator and your password is invalid, you want to come back to IBM Z Xplore and press this password reset button. And when you do that, it will bring you to our reset challenge. It'll show you what your ID is, what your current password is, and then you will want to come down here and press that reset my password button in order to reset your password. This will then obviously change to a different password, and then you will be able to continue on with IBM Z Xplore. So this is the top banner. The main banner that I think you will be accessing the most, although it really is up to you and how you want to learn, is this recommended for you carousel. So I'm sure majority of you are developers for this audience, so you might already know what the mainframe is and, kind of the bare bones of it. If, however, you're not, we have a great challenge called IBM Z Xplore Essentials, and this is where you can discover what the mainframe is. We demonstrate at a very high level, like how IBM Z is a part of a transaction of your day-to-day life. So, you purchase a product and then we show you, hey, this is where IBM Z is through every process, step of the way in the process of purchasing something online and getting it to your front door. So that's a really great channel to start with if you really have no idea like what Z is. If you want to start getting hands-on learning though, and really dive in, this is where you're going to access that first channel that I've talked about, Fundamentals and Concepts. I will click on that in a little bit. We also have a resources channel. This is where you can find that password reset challenge, or you can find, communication preferences. If you're finding that you want to, opt out of certain communication preferences, you can find that there. So this is a great channel to go back to if you're looking for something specific on how to manage your profile on IBM Z Xplore. And then we also just have general challenges available to you. I'll click on this just to demonstrate to you what it is. It'll essentially show you every challenge that's available. So right now, because I'm a brand new user and we do have those progressive paths, I only have 2 challenges available to me. And this challenge is for my demonstration. So as a regular user, you will only see 1 challenge right now. But when you have progressed far enough into the platform, so let's say you're in advanced or in extended and you kind of just want to see all the different challenges that you might be able to do, that's a good channel to access as well. Scrolling down into our events and resources, this is where we post different updates on different events that are happening around the community. So we just had an IBM Z Tech Bytes series back in May, so you can watch the replays on those sessions. When we did our IBM Z Day SE, you can watch the replays on those sessions as well. And then if there's different articles that are being published, or we just last year launched a new learning platform for you that provides that more in-depth learning, we put all of that here. So this is a great section to reference if you are looking for things that might be happening around the community and you want to either register for different events or look at different blogs or join different communities. This is where a great spot where you can find different links to those things. Scrolling down, this is the last part of the main page of the platform. So I mentioned that we have a user community and discussion board, and this is where that is. So if you ever need to find it, just come to the homepage of IBM Z Xplore and scroll down. And this is where you are going to find a ton of different questions that have been asked by users. This platform has been live since 2021, so you can imagine how many different questions we have received, and odds are your question is probably somewhere within this forum already. So you can even see here, we've had, a lot of different views and likes for different posts, and they're pretty current. So people are posting, even less than half an hour ago, and someone either on the administration team or another user will be helping you out. So we'll go to this one for an example. This is a question that a user had, and a different user who has gone through the platform is able to answer them. We really like this feature, one, because what better way to demonstrate your learning and really solidify it by helping another user. But also at the end of the day, the administration team is only so large and can only be awake for so many hours. So because this is a global platform, we want to be able to help users as quickly as possible, and having other users provide their input is really helpful to get those quick responses. So I could scroll down for ages on this, but there are so many different questions on a lot of different topics. So if you do feel like you have a question on something, I would recommend going to this magnifying glass search icon first and typing in something like JCL1. We get a lot of questions on, and you will find something that will probably fit your question. You can be way more specific if you want, like, why you're receiving a specific condition code when you're submitting a job during a challenge. So there's a lot of different ways to utilize this search feature. I've used it myself. It's very, very helpful. If, however, you are searching and you're not finding what you're looking for, you can always post a new topic yourself, title it, provide, if you're having an error with the challenge, what is that error? We ask or recommend that you provide a screenshot for us, since we can't actually see what's on your screen. It's helpful either as admin or as another user that's helping answer questions. It's helpful to see what you're seeing so that we can figure out what the problem is. For example, a lot of times there's just a lot of typos in what you're creating. And so if you post a screenshot, we can easily say like, hey, you put a comma here and it's supposed to be a period type of deal. So if you are posting a new topic, please try and remember to post a screenshot and be as descriptive as possible, because we aren't sitting with you and seeing what you're doing right then and there. So that's a forum. It's really, really great. I can't recommend it enough. If you are stuck on a challenge, we want you to be successful. We want you to continue to complete challenges on the platform. So please utilize that feature, and no question is a silly question. We want to be able to help you, and odds are a question that you have has either been answered before, or if not, you might be able to help someone else in the future with the question that you post. Okay, I feel free through all of this to ask any questions in the chat. I'll be checking the chat throughout this to make sure that I can answer any questions, but I don't see any right now. So I'm going to go into the first channel, fundamentals and concepts. So when you sign up and start IBM Z Xplore and you want to start those hands-on challenges, this is the first channel that you will go to. And what you will see is very, very similar, if not identical, to what I see. So this is the channel, fundamentals and concepts. There usually is a banner that shows here. So I'm hoping that there we go. Similar to how on the main page, we have a banner to show you the progression between the 3 channels. We have one for within each of the channels as well. So this is just a visual to show you what you have to complete to earn this badge. So we have it in wording here: complete all 7 challenges and fundamentals and at least 2 challenges and concepts. But we're also trying to show it to you here. So these are your 7 challenges that you can look forward to for fundamentals. And then these are the 5 challenges that are available to you in concepts. So as I've mentioned, the challenges are progressive. So specifically with fundamentals, each challenge is progressive. So you will not be able to access the JCL1 challenge until you've completed VSC1 and Files 1. So that's what this diagram is trying to show you here. So with all that, I am going to start the VSC1 challenge. If you are following along, which I encourage you to, I am going to start doing the demo, so feel free to do this along with me, or if you want, you can just watch as I do it and then go do it on your own time. Actually, I'll keep this wide for a second. So I talked about the general format of a challenge. So this is what you will see for every single hands-on challenge we have on IBM Z Xplore. Like I mentioned with fundamentals, because it's the first few challenges that you're going through, we are a lot more detailed with everything. So not every challenge will be as wordy, for lack of better words, like the VSC1 challenge is, but we do want to make sure that you're starting off on the right foot and have that good base. So in the VSC1 challenge, I won't go through all of it, but we essentially provide you with the purpose, what VS Code is, what you need to do to complete the challenge, and then how you will successfully submit. So I will talk through that as we go through this, so I'm not going to read it. One thing to keep in mind with the VSC1 challenge specifically is if you ever forget what your ZID and Z password is, this is where one of the places where you can go to reference that. So even after you've completed the challenge, you can always come back and look at what your ZID and Z password is. So that is just something to keep in mind, because personally, I have a hard time remembering, passwords and whatnot. Another great feature we have on IBM Z Xplore is our translations. They are AI translated, so we like to remind users of that. However, if English is not your first language and you want to do these challenges in the language that suits you best, we do provide those translations, for you, and you can click on this PDF button and select the language that you would like to use. So that's just a fun feature that we have. When you're going through this challenge, you're always going to be looking for the blue button. It looks like this. We have a button that says exactly that. So after you've read about what the challenge will be about, this is when you dive into the hands-on aspect. So I will now split my screen. And something that you can do is either view this on a different page. So if you want, you can, download this like I am and open it up. But if you want, we also provide this embedded feature where you can just view it within IBM Z Xplore itself. It is up to you, however you want to work. So this is the very first challenge. Every PDF will have a very similar format, same to how every challenge has a similar format. So all the fundamentals challenges will be this blue. We will always show you, all the different steps that you're going to be getting into. And then we start to dive in. I'm going to skip the first few steps of this challenge because it is essentially helping you download everything that you need. This first step is just making sure that you have connection to our platform. Depending on your company or the network that you are on, you might have access difficulties with accessing IBM Z. So we want to make sure first that you can do it via the web. And if you can, that means that you should be good to go to, use this on VS Code. If you've gone through this and are checking your connection and you have connection on your browser, but there's something wrong with VS Code, for example, that probably means that there's something wrong with your profile setup. So again, this really just helps us narrow down like what your specific issues are. If you aren't able to access this and you are getting an error like this, connection has timed out, this is usually due to the network that you are on. So if you are at work on Z Xplore and this is where your issue lies, I would just recommend being at home when you do this and you should be okay. If you are still having errors, even on a different network, it could be a security setting in your laptop, and it might be something that you have to escalate to your security team to allow them to have access, or have them allow access to our IP address. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to skip the first few because it's really just downloads. So I've already done the download aspect. We essentially ask you to download VS Code, Node.js, and Java. So I've already done all of that. Looking to the right here on my screen, if you don't see 3 green check marks by the end of step 3, by the end of step 3, that means you are probably going to have some difficulties in the future. So I would recommend making sure you get these 3 green check marks before you move forward. When you first download VS Code, none of these will be green. They will be a red X. So once they are green, you know you've done it correctly. So again, this is really just the steps that we put in the challenge, but it's downloading Java, making sure Zoe is installed, and then your profile. So your profile will probably remain as a red X up until the end of this challenge, just because we help you set that up in this challenge. So just things to keep in mind as you're going through. A lot of questions that we get from users are just because they haven't essentially like gone through the challenge itself. So I would recommend reading the challenge first, trying to go as far as you can. And if you really do get stuck, then reach out to us on the forum. But a lot of times it's really just, you just need to keep pushing forward before you get to the end. So I'm going to start with step 4. I've opened up VS Code, and now I'm going to install Z Open Editor. If you look at the middle of my screen, there's this bar. So it's technically the left side of VS Code. What you're going to want to do is click on the extensions. It's essentially 4 boxes. And you're going to want to type in IBM Z Open Editor. And you're going to want to install the top one. I've already installed it myself, but essentially there will be a blue button that tells you to install, and you'll click install. Once you do that, on this same bar, you'll now see a Z that has opened up. And this means that you have successfully installed IBM Z Open Editor, and this is where you're going to get access to the mainframe. So now we are going to check this out and get started. So what we're going to do now is create your profile. So I've mentioned your IBM Z ID and your password. This is where you're going to want to grab that and set up your profile. Most of you should have the most updated VS Code version. Our steps are for the most updated version. If for some reason you don't have the most updated, you should still be able to follow along and set up your profile. Some of the screenshots just might not match what you see on your own screen. So essentially what you're going to see here is in Z Xplore, you have your data sets, USS, and jobs. And I have kicks, but we can ignore that for right now. So a lot of the times what you're going to be accessing is your data set. So if you are familiar with a 3270 and using TSO and ISPF, this is like going into 3.4 and viewing your data sets. So what you're going to do to set up your profile is to the right of data sets, you're going to click this plus sign, and you're going to click create new team configuration file. I'm going to click edit because I already have mine. But once you do that, you will open up this file called the zoe.config.json file. And this is where we are going to ensure that your access to the mainframe is set up correctly. So scrolling down on the left here, I've done step 7. I've created my new team configuration file. You might have an option to select global or project. I didn't when I set mine up, so I just moved on. If you do have this option, make sure you press global. And now that you've opened up your file, this is where you're going to want to complete a few different edits. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. So things that you want to keep in mind for, and we have this in the document. When you are setting up your profile, your first profile is going to be ZOSMF. You can call this whatever you want. I've just left it as the ZOSMF profile. You can see an example though of me creating a second ZOSMF profile just so that I have, 2 different profiles for testing and purposes. And I called mine testing. I could have called it anything I want. The things that you want to make sure are correct are what's within that profile. So you want to make sure your type is ZOSMF, your port is 10443, and everything else you can leave. So in this screenshot on the left here, this is what you will probably see when you first set up your profile. What you want to change it to is 10443. Another change that you want to make is moving into the TSO section. So looking on the right-hand side here, your profile will probably show empty. It'll probably show that. And what you want to make sure is that you have your, you type in FB3 for your account. Everything else you should be able to leave the same, but just double check based off of what the screenshot shows on the left that you have the same thing. Then you want to move to your base section. And this is where you are going to put in the IP address to access IBM Z Xplore. So you can leave everything the same except for the host section. It will probably be blank like it is in the screenshot on the left. You want to make sure that you type in our IP address, which is listed here. Make sure you keep that comma at the end, and also make sure you are putting periods in between the IP address. I know that sounds very silly, but that is where we see a lot of user error. And then for that reject unauthorized true, make sure you change it from true to false. Everything else you can leave as it is. So I've left everything else the same, and you should be able to access the mainframe after this. Make sure you save. That's another issue we see a lot, is users aren't saving their file. I'm not going to save just because I know that my file is fine. But once you do that, you can then move on to step 8, and this is where you are going to set up your profile and actually use your Z ID and password. So what you're going to do now, once you have saved your profile, you should now see your ZOSMF profile appear. Again, I have two because I have two profiles, so I'm just going to focus on my testing one. And what you are going to do is click on 2-finger click, or if you're on a Mac, and if you're on a Windows, I hope you know how to do that. I think it's a control click maybe. And then you're going to want to scroll down and click Manage Profile. Two things with Manage Profile. One, this is where you can access your zoe.config.json file. So if you edit profile, this is where you can access that again. So if you are coming up with errors, this is where you can access it. Another thing with Manage Profile is doing your update credentials. So we will use that feature right now when setting up our profile, but you will also want to utilize this when you update your password. So every 60 days when your password expires and you reset it, this is where you want to go back and make sure that you update it here. Now, this is when you're going to pull in your password and ID. So I'm going to go back to my Z Xplore screen, pull my ID, which is here, and then you pull my password, which is here. And once you do that, you should see a green check mark similar to how I do right now next to your profile. That is how you know you've done it correctly. If you are running into errors, that probably means your zoe.config.json file is not set up correctly. Once you do this correctly, you will see two files for you. One is an alias file. If you click on it, you will see an error. It won't let you click on it. That's okay. Move forward. You're not supposed to be able to click into this. If you really want to click on something, you will want to click on the README file, and this is essentially just another introduction to Z Xplore. So once you have done that, and the steps on the left are showing you just about the error. Sorry, my email is acting up. We're going to move to step 10, although we can skip step 10 because we don't have any connection issues, but this is just showing you how you can update that. And again, that's 2-finger clicking, manage profile, and then editing profile. So now, if you have the updated version, you shouldn't have to do anything else. You can now see in my Unix system services and in my jobs that I have my profile set up and I'm ready to go. You will utilize these sections more in future challenges. So for now, we will leave them, but they are there for you to utilize. So now we are going to show the system that we have completed the challenge correctly. So for every IBM Z Xplore challenge, you have the IBM Z Xplore platform part, and this is where you access the challenge. And the second part is the hands-on aspect where you are either on VS Code or 3270 and completing the hands-on aspect. So at the end of each challenge, we ask you to submit a job to demonstrate that you completed the challenge correctly. So for the VS Code challenge, it's very simple. We just want to make sure you set up your profile correctly. So you're going to follow the steps. So what you're going to do is filter for your data sets, which again, mine is for your Z ID. So mine is Z5177. But then you are also going to add in zxp.public to access, to access all zxp.public data sets. So the name is in the data set. It's a public data set. these are all public data sets for you to access. We have a lot of security measures on them, so essentially you can't really edit anything here, but for a lot of the challenges that you go through, especially when you go through the different advanced and extended challenges, we ask you to copy different members or copy different data sets into your own. So essentially you would be copying, one of these members into your own ZID profile. So for this challenge, it's asking you to go to zxp.public.jcl and find the check VSC challenge. Pro tip, this is alphabetical, so I know that there are a lot of different jobs here for you to submit. They're alphabetical, so scroll down to where you want to go. You are then going to two-finger click again, click that submit job. You can see on the bottom right here that a job has been submitted, and this is where you can access your jobs here. So you can either click on that pop-up or filter in the job section for your job. If you see active, that just means the job hasn't finished running yet, and you might need to, refresh this for a little bit. This seems to be taking a little longer than usual. But essentially, once you have completed the job, let's see, you will then see a condition code of 0 for this. So I'm going to try this again, but I'm going to do, sorry about that. Okay, there we go. So once you submit your job for any job, but specifically for this VSC1 job, you should see the label for VSC1 and then a condition code of 4 zeros. If you have your condition code of 4 zeros, you are good to go. That means you have completed part 2 of what you need to complete for a hands-on challenge. The last step is to remember to go back to IBM Z Xplore, scroll down and click that blue challenge complete button. You'll see some, notifications that you did it correctly, you've earned some points. And then what you should be able to do now is, if you refresh your page on IBM Z Xplore, you will see that you have now unlocked more challenges. So again, bringing it back to that progressive nature of the platform, I have now completed VSC1 and now I've unlocked files. So I will walk through the files challenge semi-quickly. I know we're getting short on time here, but so that you can see that progression. You can also see 2 other challenges that have appeared for you, and those are your concepts challenges. We really like to ensure that users go through VSC1 before starting concepts to make sure that you, are committed to completing the challenges and have that base level for VSC1. So these are your 2 of the 5 challenges available to you. I talked about labels and tags. So when I was talking about the All-Star badge, I talked about how there are extended tag challenges, All-Star tag challenges, advanced tag challenges. On this bottom left of each challenge, this is where you're going to see the tag. So you can see that files 1 is labeled as fundamentals, while security and privacy and systems are labeled as concepts. So that's just a tip for you. When you are completing, we also in the image try to show what badge that challenge is associated with. So I know it's hard to see with the new icon here, but this is showing you that these are all related to the Credly Concepts badge. So I'm going to continue on. I'm now going to access the Files 1 challenge. This challenge is fun because we have a video as an introduction instead of just text. I'm not going to watch the video, but I highly recommend that you do. It's a really great video. It's only 2 minutes, and it gives you a great introduction to data sets and members. For some of our hands-on challenges, we do also have quizzes, similar to how we have quizzes for concepts challenges. I am just going to click here to submit my quiz. And after you submit this quiz, this is how you unlock the hands-on challenge for files. So similar to VSC1, we show you the steps on what you'll need to do, and then you can unlock the PDF for files. So I'm going to download it just so it's a little bigger for us here. And as you can see, this is now the Files 1 challenge, but it looks very similar to VSC1 format-wise, because we want you to be comfortable with how the challenge is formatted. We didn't really show this in the VSC1 challenge. We essentially give you a quick introduction on what the challenge will be about, what the prerequisite might be for the challenge. So, for example, we want you to have VS Code set up, which is great because we just did that in the VSC1 challenge. And we try and give you about an estimate of how long this challenge might take you. Usually we overshoot the time just in case, you are very new to the technology. So don't let the duration intimidate you. A lot of users do complete it quicker than the time we allot. So now we're going to expand upon what we did in VSC1 and look into different data sets and members. So essentially, I'm going to jump right back in on the right-hand side here to our data set section, and I'm just going to follow the steps. So I'm actually going to skip this first step because we already have this pulled up. It's essentially asking you to pull any data sets that are under your ID and also any public data sets. So we've already done that here. And again, I don't have any data sets to my name besides the README file. So it should look pretty heavily public data sets. And I'm going to scroll down because I just talked through all this, and now we are going to create some data sets for ourselves. So like I mentioned earlier, you utilize the public data sets a lot to populate data sets into your own ID. So I'm going to go into zxp.public.jcl, and I'm going to find the PDS build member as it mentions on the left here. So again, we are going to scroll down. I found PDS build, and I'm going to submit the job. Okay, you can see the icon here again for my job being submitted. I've submitted it, and now you can see that I have condition code of zeros, which is great. That means it was done successfully. So now what it's going to show me is that I now have new data sets in. So sometimes you might have to refresh your profile. I'm going to do that here. And this will show me now a whole new set of data sets that are now under my ID. So before we only had our 2 files, and now I have 4 different data sets now under my name. So a surprise, SCQDS, keys, and input all under my name, which is great. So now what we are going to do is follow the steps. So it asks us to view all the members in our input data set. So I went to my input data set and I see that there are 4 members for me. And I'm going to click on each one and essentially follow the instructions. So for this M2 member, it just gives me the dates. M3, it just says welcome. M5, however, it tells me to rename. So I'm going to go in here, rename the data sets, and mark it as blue. And now you can see that my data set was M5, but now it is blue. And then I'm going to find my last member, and it tells me to delete this member. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to delete it. And now I have 3 members inside my input data set. I'm skipping around a little bit because I do want to leave a little bit of time to show you some AI challenges that we have on the platform. So in step 8, it says to look in your surprise data set. So I'm going to look here. I see that I have another member, and I'm going to copy this member and paste it into my input data set. And it says that here, asking me to put it into my input. So I'm essentially going to click on my input data set, paste it. I'm going to leave it the same name as it was. And then you will see now that I have 4 new members in my data set. 2 of them are colors and 2 are the original. And then I'm going to look into my sequential data set here. If you are not familiar with sequential data sets, it is essentially one data set where you add your members are essentially your rows. So partition data sets are your data sets like folders on your laptop where you have a folder called whatever, and then inside that folder you have different files. That is what a partition data set is. So that is very similar to our input data set here. And then a sequential data set is very similar to, just having one file on your laptop and you add lines to it. So essentially each of these are, different records essentially. So it asked me to add something. So adding something here. Make sure you save it if you're doing any editing within a sequential data set or within a member. And then I'm going to go back to making my own member. So step 11. So we've worked with a sequential data set of adding a record. I'm now going to go back to my partition data set of my inputs data set, and I'm going to add a new member. So I'm going to two-finger click here. I'm going to find create a new member. It asks me to label it my new member, and that's at the top here. I'm going to press enter. And then you can see here under my input partition dataset, I now have my 5th member called my new member. All right, so circling back to how you complete a challenge in IBM Z Xplore, again, there's 2 steps. There's one on the IBM Z Xplore side, and then there's one on the VS Code side. So on the VS Code side, I want to tell the system, hey, I've done this challenge and I've done it correctly. So I'm going to find the check files member under my zxp.public dataset, and I'm going to submit it. Again, that blue notification of the job is being submitted here. I'm refreshing because it was still working, and now I can see that I have another condition code of 4 zeros, which is great. That means I've done it correctly, and I can move forward on the challenge. One thing to note, if you do receive a wrong condition code, like a condition code of 027, so I'll show you here. If I rename this to something that doesn't follow the instructions, essentially, you will see here when I go to resubmit the job that it will fail. Okay, so I've submitted a job again. Okay, that might be my old job. I'm not going to show what went wrong here just because I want to have some time to wrap this up. But essentially, when you have a condition code that isn't what you want it to be, make sure you're checking the files underneath to see what went wrong. This is where you're going to see like what needed to be different. So again, this is my old job, so it's not showing me correctly. But in here, instead of saying correct, it would tell you incorrect, and it would tell you what it's looking for specifically. Now that I've done files 1 correctly, I need to do part 2 of completing a challenge and click that blue button on Z Xplore. And now that I've done that, I've completed files 1, and since I've done both VS Code correctly and on the Z Xplore side correctly, I should be now able to unlock the JCL1 challenge and continue on my way. All right, sorry if all that at the end was a bit rushed. I don't see any questions in the chat still, so I do want to just show you a few other challenges that we have on our platform that are more AI specific. So the biggest one that I wanted to show you is this introduction to WCA for Z. This is a great interactive demo that we have. It's not directly created on Z Xplore. We are pointing to where it has been created already. However, given that we have published this challenge, we are looking to build a few more challenges on IBM Z Xplore that dive into WCA for Z. So this is a great interactive demo where you kind of click around, but you don't have like full control over your hands-on access. So I highly recommend going through this demo just to understand WCA for Z and how it works and all the great features and functions that it has. However, we are looking to build some challenges where you can be on VS Code yourself with your own ZID and going through a lot of these features that are listed here as well. Other challenges that we have, which I don't have access to on this account, we do have a machine learning challenge. We also have a few Linux 1 challenges if you want to, kind of do a combo of both of those. We also have some Ansible automation challenges as well. We have 2 of those. Those are really great challenges that you can have access to on Z Xplore, and really kind of whatever else you want to do on the platform, like I mentioned. So for this user, I am limited because I've only done the fundamentals and concepts aspect. But once you get to advanced and extended, you really have free range to pick challenges that you want. Okay, I know I'm at time here, so I can stop sharing my screen. I just want to thank you all for watching this session. I hope that it was insightful for you and that you've learned a lot about IBM Z Xplore and how it can benefit you as a developer. Again, we provide those bite-sized hands-on challenges that really get you onto an IBM Z machine and allow you to play around with it. So thank you for watching and for listening. I hope you enjoy the rest of your IBM Dev Day. And if you ever want to come back and rewatch this replay or access IBM Z Xplore, come find us on the forums and chat with us. And we look forward to seeing you on the platform. Thank you.